What's going on, guys? It's Steeler here, back again with the RDX crew. This is our once-a-week podcast for all the latest gaming news and more. It's a little longer of a session here compared to the normal content, but hey, we do this for you guys, and we appreciate you guys showing up. We got some intros while we let some people filter in. Massive topics. You guys want to know about the latest and greatest updates, or maybe not so great, or maybe some other stuff. We've got all this information for you guys all in one place. Let's start with the Ash and Luca. Thank you for being back once again. How have you been?
Hey, man. I've been really good, just enjoying myself. Hey to everyone in the chat. It's going to be good. We're going to have a good time. Got my bro Glitcher here. Let's do this. Let's do this.
Yeah, they're brothers and sisters. Okay, Colt, how you been?
Good. Having a great time. Cranking through some games, racking up the gamer score, and ready to talk about games.
All right, Fraudarelli, man, you've people's like, where's Fonz? I'm like, Fonz has missed like one show. He missed the last show. The week before that, we didn't have a show. How you been, brother? Good to have you back.
Yeah, I've been great. It's good to be back. RDX time Tuesdays, guys. Let's get it just going here. Let's talk about these games. Got a lot of shit to talk about tonight.
Get it done. Glitcher, thank you for coming on, brother. Let people know where they can find you and stuff, man.
Oh yeah, the Glitcher has made it back to RDX. Hey guys, it's great to be back. Y'all can find me on YouTube at Attack the Glitcher, and Twitter Attack Glitcher, and Xbox Attack Glitcher. I'm ready to dive into some shit. Let's get it going.
Be sure to attack the Glitcher as well on Twitter.
Oh yes,
at Attack the Glitcher. Call him an asshole, whatever you need to do. So of course we got massive topics, and shout out to going on already. Almost 300 people joining us here soon. I do have a Twitter giveaway to do real quick, so I don't keep those people waiting too long. I'm giving away a copy of Assassin's Creed Origins real quick. And, this is just the people that follow me on Twitter at dealer_gaming. If you do not, this one goes to Eric T at _biz. Just won a copy of Assassin's Creed Origins on Xbox One. It is X enhanced, looks phenomenal. I will be tweeting this out after the show. And congratulations to Suicide King, who just won the Patreon giveaway. Check the site for more information there. So, thank you guys. So we got a lot of topics today, guys. We didn't do the RDX live show question, kind of short on time and all that good stuff, but we have a lot of stuff to fill in the gaps here. So I wanted to start by talking about Microsoft pulling the Kinect adapter out of production. A lot of stuff has happened since we had a show, so we haven't got to get our opinions out there about a lot of the stuff. So, Fonz, how do you feel about this Kinect adapter leaving production? Microsoft are not making it anymore. They ended production on the Kinect a while back. Now you're no longer able to buy a Kinect adapter from Microsoft directly. Does this matter to you? How do you feel?
It really doesn't matter to me. I've always been sort of against the Kinect to begin with. I've heard, I don't know if this is true. Maybe you can clear this up, dealer. You're the tech guy. Was this actually a resource hog or not? Because that's what I'm hearing from some people. And
that's a good point.
Kinect initially, yeah, it was 10% of the GPU.
Yeah, so yeah, that's another reason to get rid of it. But come on, I mean, who was really using it all that much? And as I've said before, in a household full of 8 kids at the time when I had Kinect on the 360, you cannot use those voice commands for anything with 8 kids in the house. So Kinect to me was pretty much dead, aside from the kids maybe doing a Just Dance game or something like that.
Yeah,
you know what? And I'm glad now that they can focus on just making, these studios can make regular games for the system rather than this Kinect shit.
Consolidate their efforts, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about this, Colt?
Well, I think that the Kinect was kind of dead in 2014 when they unbundled it initially.
Yeah.
Also, I liked it. I liked using it to record and screenshot and volume up and down. Like, those are really cool features.
It worked, man. Especially if you calibrated it right. It worked generally, right?
Yeah, it always worked. It was great. And I just kind of got used to it. But I was always puzzled why the S and the X didn't come with just a little built-in mic on the console that would take those commands, listen for them, Get rid of the Kinect, but just keep that little part of it that listens to those commands like Cortana does through the headset.
That's because, instead of every outlet making a video saying Kinect is spying on you, they would change Kinect to Xbox, a non-removable microphone, right?
Right.
You know how crazy that was?
Yeah, but everyone this holiday bought a Amazon Echo Dot and they're talking to their phones, and But at the time,
it was never logical though, right? When they were saying Kinect was spying on you and all this, it was never based in logic. It just got them clicks. It was negative Xbox stuff. We got to admit that, right? Looking back on it now, both consoles had a camera. One was packed in, but even after it wasn't packed in, you still heard about this stuff, and it was driven by clicks, man. I don't know. Anybody else got anything to say on this Kinect adapter?
I mean, I really didn't care much for Kinect. I know there were people out there that really liked it. And to them out there that it does suck that it's gone. But to me, I really give two fucks about the Kinect. But
yeah,
I mean, I know there were people out there that dug it and liked it a lot. So, I mean, it does suck for the people that aren't going to be able to get one to put it on their X if they don't have one or anything. So, but to me,
hey, you give one more fuck than a lot of people. So that's good.
That's my opinion on it.
Me, myself.
Rest in peace, Kinect. Who gives a shit? Okay, it's dead. Okay, it's done. It's finished. They fucked up. They should have never included it. It's gone. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank God that they got rid of that adapter. They need to be done with this completely.
Luca,
wash their hands of it.
Keep going, Luca.
Let them learn from this mistake.
Let's find something else Luca's annoyed by. Do you like Tide Pods or regular detergent?
Oh, I mean, Tide Pods are actually kind of annoying because sometimes they don't actually burst. You know.
That's not nearly as
People eat those on YouTube, by the way.
Okay, all right. So, Kinect adapter. It's on its way out the door. Me, myself, people said Kinect was dead in 2014, didn't they? And, I was thinking to myself, well, Microsoft never really directly marketed this thing for games, really?
No,
if you saw it in a commercial, it was some fucking, dude sitting around yelling at it, right? Or something. So I thought it did really well for what it was supposed to do, in my opinion. Never planned on using it for games. It's gone. It's out. Some people are blowing this out of proportion. No one really gives a fuck. They didn't care then. They shouldn't care now. And that's just how it is. Anybody a fan of Burnout Paradise?
Oh, I am.
Not at all.
That's like one of my favorite racing games.
Thank you, Attack.
Apparently, there's a good chance that there's an HD remaster coming of the game.
Oh, really?
Burnout Paradise. Awesome. Yeah, so I didn't really get to play much of that one. Let us know what you think in the chat. Burnout, do you prefer that? Something like Forza Horizon, or maybe even go way back, Project Gotham, stuff like that. Fonz hates it, so that should tell you all you need to know.
Put Burnout, yeah, right? BP in the chat if you guys like the game. Deal, you should have played it. It was super fast racing game. Modes where you rammed cars off the road in the race over and over. There was Marked Man where they chase you down and try to ram you off the road before you got to the checkpoint. The car crunching was amazing. Like whenever you were about to have a collision, the camera would change to like a super 20 times super slow-mo. And just
it was like driving in Detroit, basically.
Yeah, it was really enjoyable. Yeah, I really liked it. But I already bought it on PC. I have it on backward compatible. If you guys got it, I think it was free with Games with Gold. If it's on your list, give it a minute and download it and see how it plays. Actually, looks pretty decent on the Xbox. Not too bad.
Yeah, Luca, do you play any racing games at all? Give her a second.
Sorry, what? Racing games?
Yeah, you play any racing games at all?
No, I don't play. Racing games are boring. I'm sorry. I know that you're super into Forza, but I think it's boring. Just going around on a track over and over again, customizing the car. I just don't have any interest in it. I don't understand why people like it. But hey, you know what? Different strokes for different folks, right?
Different strokes.
You'd like Burnout Paradise.
Well, I think it's all about that lap time, shaving seconds off, and being fast. There's a lot of ego involved in racing games, Luca.
Why is that? Because if you
I'm not competitive enough to.
If you ain't first, you're last, Luca.
That's right.
No, I've been on Party Chat with Dealer when he's trying to get like a record score on Forza 7. He's like, "Shut up! I'm trying to shave seconds off this lap." I'm sorry.
I will never speak.
It's not quite that dramatic. Hey, we got to give a shout out to almost 400 people joining us live already. Hit that like button if you can, guys. We appreciate it. Crytek, apparently, and this is according to a developer interview, working on an Xbox One X game. This is interesting, guys. I'd like to know, because obviously the developer is really impressed with the hardware. He says that he was just amazed by the power that just came out of it instantly, and he rinsed it out and made some more juice with it. So what game do you think they're working on, Fonz?
Dude, I have no clue. What who are you talking about again? Who is this?
Crytek.
Crytek? I have no idea.
He has no idea.
Do you think they're working on Rise too?
That's what I'm hoping. Because if there's any game from the early half of the generation that deserves a sequel to me, it is Rise 2. That one had the most potential. So I don't know. No one else gives a fuck about Crytek.
I mean, they're not going to make a part 4 of what the heck's it called?
Crisis.
Crytek.
That's
Crisis.
Crisis, yeah.
A Crisis. Yeah, they're not going to make a 4th Crisis, are they? The 3rd one didn't do all that well. It was all right though.
No, they probably won't go back to that.
Yeah, let us know what you guys think they're working on in the chat. Rise 2, man, I think the first Rise is full of potential besides fighting, octuplets. The same guy runs up to 8 different times. You chop their legs and arms off and they come back to the next level. There were limitations there, and that's obviously due to time. But with a little more time, better physics in the game with movement and combat and some customization with armor and weapons and maybe co-op, because that co-op arena mode was fun, man. Very underrated. A lot of people just looked at Rise and say it was trash, and they really didn't pay attention to the story, which was actually really good.
Do you ever change your armor or weapons in that, or do you just have the same gear the whole game?
It's pretty much the same gear the whole game. That's what I'm saying. That was like that was kind of the downside of it. So with a bit of customization, I think it's there. What do you think, Glitcher?
I'd like to see a Rise 2. That would be definitely cool. I mean, I would be interested to see what the type of tech we got out now to see. Would definitely see a Crisis 4.
Crisis 4.
Somebody in the chat said that Crytek bought out Time Splitters years back. So it's always a possibility.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So that's why we like that engagement in the chat. You guys keep us informed as well. So D-Batch, petting the goat in the chat. Hey, how you doing, brother? Crytek. We got Rise 2, Time Splitters. What could it be? How do you prefer Rise 2? We probably won't see that. Nintendo Switch, fastest selling home console in U.S. history, apparently. That's surprising. Luke is very surprised, I could tell.
Yeah, good for them, I guess. I really don't care about Nintendo, so.
Well, I don't care either, but it's impressive, right?
Wow.
Considering a lot of people felt like they were on a deathbed, a year ago.
The thing with Nintendo is that they're very odd as like a company. What worked for them and what doesn't. Like the stuff you think won't work for them works for them, and vice versa. So, like anything that they do and anything that happens to them success-wise, I'm always just kind of like, interesting. Because in my opinion, the Switch isn't very impressive, and the whole it's portable thing doesn't really work for me. Because
what's selling me on the Switch is if it got Far Cry 5 and if it got all the basic games that you're going to get, plus the Nintendo games.
It's getting games like Wolfenstein and Doom, but they run like shit and they look
like it depends on who you ask. They're impressed that that little Tegra chip, whatever it's in it, can play these AAA games.
Okay, being impressed doesn't being impressed doesn't take away the fact that they run like shit.
Well, it'd be cool if the docking station had more power. You just can't do that. But if the Switch had a docking station that would allow you to play AAA games at around base Xbox or PS4 hardware or better. I mean, and it played all those AAA support. Like you wouldn't need another console. You could take the one with you and the Switch and then play all the games.
Let's just be honest. If you're getting a Switch, you're interested in the mobile aspect of it more than anything, and the exclusive. So, that's why people compromise on that stuff a little bit, Luca. The performance on the third parties, right? Yeah. Some of the settings in Doom are lower than the lowest setting on PC, for instance, right? And it's running at like 480i, but on that small screen, it's not a huge deal. Those things can be patched. Hopefully, it'll be better.
I think this is great news for all gamers, honestly, because despite what some people will have you believe, they do compete for your gaming dollar. Yep. And Nintendo being out there and making all this money just pushes that competition even further. Look, I'm happy about it. I don't even own one. I don't play the Nintendo games anymore. My son likes those Nintendo games, but for me, I just grown out of them, I guess. But look, I'm happy for him. It's great for gaming. It's a good thing.
Yeah, as Zaire says, I grew up with Nintendo, but they didn't grow up with me, right? So he kind of coined that perfectly, and he probably got that off the back of cereal box. So shout out to Z. The Switch, major success, Glitcher. What do you think?
To be honest, I enjoy the hell out of the Switch. I love it. Like when I got it, I was like, all right, man, let's see if this hype is real. And I enjoy the hell out of it. It's more probably the fact of the portability of it. Like where the Wii U, you would play on the pad and you take 2 steps away and it disconnects from the system. This one, I took 5 steps and it was still going and everything. So I enjoy it. I love playing the hell out of Mario Odyssey and Zelda. So
I would say the hype is real.
Yeah, the hype is real.
The hype is real.
It is. I enjoy it. I think it's a badass little system. I enjoy it. So, and kudos to Nintendo for, you know, bringing themselves back, because that Wii U sucked ass.
You know, the Switch has a handful of really good exclusives here on the year and a half they've been out, right? And I hear a lot of people make an argument that the Xbox isn't selling well, but look at the Switch; it's already selling so fast because of those exclusives. And I'm like, I don't think that's, and I think Dealer just touched on that a minute ago. That's not really the main reason why the Switch is flying off shelves. It's a great Nintendo product. People believe in Nintendo. It's portable. It's got a couple of the biggest games of the year: Mario Odyssey, Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, and people really like the other games like ARMS and Splatoon 2, and then it's getting like those games like Rocket League and stuff. So I think all of that package is what makes the Nintendo Switch so successful. And Fonz is right. It's good for gaming as a whole. We need Nintendo in the fight doing well.
Just got to call a spade too. We're not going to harp on Nintendo too much longer. We know a lot of people, including myself, don't give a fuck about Nintendo. But we do got to give it to them a little bit, because I was calling Nintendo out a year ago. I thought they were kind of making the same mistake twice. That's before I knew about the mobile aspect of it. But still, they've come back. They've been very successful. Competition's good no matter what kind of competition it is. And I will say that Nintendo have a name that money can't buy. And they also have some of the most powerful IPs in the world easily. And they're the only ones in the game in their space when it comes to mobile gaming like that. So, you know, and two, you got to remember, Nintendo, this is the best console they come out with since the GameCube. So this is a big deal. And they're getting third-party support. Say what?
Yeah, the Wii didn't do much. The Wii didn't do much hardware-wise.
It sold a lot. I mean, it destroyed everything else that gen, but it just didn't have any games that people wanted. Aside from exclusives, right?
Yeah.
It was
Luca likes them all. So,
shit, you know. The Wii was the second fastest-selling console in the U.S. The Wii sold like gangbusters. Yeah. But again, you know, it's Nintendo. It's good for their fans, and it's good for gaming. So I'm happy about it.
Yeah, that's great. Hey, and we got to say, guys, thanks to over 450 people watching us live already. Please hit that like button if you can. Let's try to get to over 300 before the end of the show. We'd appreciate it. Luca, I wanted you to talk about the topic that you wanted to talk about real quick before we get into a lot of this big stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, so guys, finally started my channel. You can, you know, go click on my name and check it out. You know,
go subscribe to Ash and Lukey.
Go subscribe. Let me know what you want to talk about, what you want to hear, and we're just gonna have a good time, guys. We're gonna have a good time. You get some quality Luca time, which I'm sure a lot of you will be happy about, and some of you will come to hate, but that's fine because I love my haters.
Everyone gets hate, right? You can literally show them facts on the screen, link them down below, and talk pretty down the middle, and oh my God, you're a fanboy. So it happens. Basically, what Luke is trying to say is go subscribe now.
Do it now and hit the like button on this. Do it.
So do you have a topic you'd like to talk about or anything like to talk about real quick? I think no. All right. That was pretty compelling. At least we got a little suspense there waiting that half second.
Perfectly timed.
Hey, I did want to talk about this Batman Arkham City glitch real quick, just so people know. If you do have it's really interesting. If you have the Return to Arkham remasters, you're playing Arkham City. I'm not sure if this affects Arkham Asylum. And you're playing upon the retry screen / the death screen, there's a chance that the game will glitch and disengage VSync, unlock the frame rate, and you can play Arkham City at 60 frames per second on the X. And keep in mind that games that aren't patched on the X only have access to half of the GPU. So you got 3 teraflops. So this game's hitting 60 frames at 1080p with 3 teraflops on the X, and it looks good. I mean, it's pretty nice to see that. So I just figured to let you guys know. Pretty interesting glitch. 60 frames. Go kill yourself a few times in Arkham City, and the
with
glitch
half
lasts
the power,
long.
basically.
Yeah, the
Half
glitch
the-
lasts
half
as
the
long
graphics
as you're
power.
alive, just so you know. So don't end the game. Just keep playing, and the glitch will stay engaged, and you'll have 60 frames for as long as you're playing. I think it's pretty fucking cool. Great game. Aaron Greenberg, you got something to say, Cole?
No. I was like, yeah, let's just go ahead. Aaron Greenberg. I've been
Greenberg.
waiting all day to hear you say Aaron Greenberg.
Aaron Greenberg says Crackdown 3 is on schedule, and they have many more AAA exclusives coming. We're going to get into exactly what those are and our opinions on those. Glitcher, what do you think about Greenberg going off here on Twitter, letting people know, hey, shit's okay?
You know what? It's cool. I love seeing them snapping off like that. Just saying, yep, Crackdown's on track. Everything's going good. We got all of this stuff happening. It's cool because, you know, people that would be like, well, 2017 sucked. Let's see what 2018 is going to be. And then, like, literally, we're in the second week of 2018. We're getting all this shit. We got him going all over God's green earth saying, look, Crackdown 3 is all right. It's on its way. We got a bunch more coming, dude. It's awesome. He's letting the fans know what's happening and what's up. And that's good stuff right there. So Aaron Greenberg in my book is A-OK.
Yeah. Fonz, what is Top Fraud talking about? What is I'm gonna have to go PolitiFact this motherfucker because everything he says is kind of off base by at least 30-40%.
He's just trying to get a reaction from everyone.
Yeah. Leave Top Dog alone.
He's one of your biggest fans, isn't he, Fonz?
Big, huge fan, especially on Twitter. Huge.
Xbot 448 the chat. What's going on, brother? Lethal Papa. What's going? Don't ban Xbot, Lethal. Don't do it.
Yeah.
So Aaron Greenberg coming out, making sure things are okay, guys. I think that's great. Maybe some of the whiners can calm down a little bit. You think?
No, it's not going to happen because they'll just find something else to complain about, some other stupid thing to complain about. So
what's the stupidest things you think they're complaining about currently, Luca?
Cody.
They're still complaining about that?
Yeah, I've still seen some shit about that. Like,
oh my God.
Xbox doesn't have any games. That's a good one. Xbox doesn't have any new IPs. That's a good one. Just the same old, same old. Like, I really just don't care. I don't care. People complain about the silliest stuff.
Were you referring to Aaron Greenberg, like on Twitter, liking that listing of resolution we talked about last week?
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah. Is that kind of what you're getting at?
These frauds, right? I'm sorry to cut you off, Code, but these frauds are like, these Xbox execs are so unprofessional, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry, did you forget that Yoshida was like, here's the list. This is what 1080p can do over 900p and 720p.
Yep.
Yeah, he said what he said. That 1080p makes you a better gamer. And no one wants to play blurry 720p. And what was Yoshida saying?
My friend found that tweet.
Actively in the community, even when I wasn't in the community, even when I was like a casual gamer or whatever, I still knew about that stuff. So everyone who's like, "Oh, these execs are unprofessional," listen, they're just trying to do what they got to do. And Aaron Greenberg's the marketing guy. He's supposed to be hyping the system up. It's his job. Mm-hmm. Get over it.
Yeah. It's quite hypocritical. What were you saying, Cole, about the list of resolutions that people just couldn't handle for some reason?
Right. Yeah. I think we talked about that last week, but it's really upset people that tweet has just gone kind of viral because there's a bunch of anti-Xbox guys jumping in on it, and Aaron Greenberg liked it and said that it was cool, and he's pretty much in the attitude that he's getting sick and tired of the bull crap, and when Xbox is doing something great, he wants to trumpet about it. Mm-hmm. And this is kind of what we want him, because we all know that Microsoft's been kind of sitting back and playing nice because they're bigger and they're better than that. They're a big company. Xbox isn't the only thing they do. You know, I think it was you, Dealer, that kind of said that Xbox is kind of like their pet project that makes them good money and they have fun, you know, with this little division, and people are enjoying the crap out of the consoles. But
factually, Microsoft versus Sony revenue-wise, it's not even a contest. You know, Sony is a flea on Microsoft's ass when it comes to revenue overall. But the Xbox, that's why people say Microsoft aren't in competition with Sony. They're in competition with Apple and other big companies like that. Technically, Microsoft are, but the Xbox division is very much in competition with Sony, right? Of course, we know that. They said that. They're trying. And those two alone, they're comparable. But you know, the fact that people are so sheltered, and you almost have to lie to these people to make them not freak out. Like Aaron Greenberg just liked this picture of resolutions that were factual, right? PS4 Pro's doing 1440 across the board or lower, and the X, all those games on the X were 4K, and he just liked it because it's true. They've been tested.
And the
people freak
PS4 Pro
out.
resolutions, the dropping resolutions were not even counted on there. So the resolution showed the highest resolution on the Pro and the highest resolution on the X. So it was a fair assessment.
And keep in mind too,
games are dynamic, but it's like
devs are not putting their game at 1440p or 4K, knowing that it's going to stay at 1600p for 80% of the time. There is no point. They render them at 4K. They'll stay at 4K much of the time, but then when shit starts getting really crazy, that's what dynamic scaling's for. It's not there to it scales 80% of the time. It makes no sense, and that's not how it works. So just keep that in mind. I don't think that's the case at all. I just think people need to stop freaking out over facts. It's insane.
And that's the last time you'll see it drop. You'll never really notice it drop to 1800p because that's when you're exploding and people's arms off and you're busy looking at the mayhem and enjoying the game. It's actually pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. Shout out to almost 550 people watching this live. Fonz, what you got to say?
I'm reading the chat and I'm just seeing people, comment along with what we're talking about, all this 1080p, 1800p. People are in there saying, 1080p is trash and everything. It's like people are so fixated on resolutions now. It just makes me laugh because they don't know what they're talking about. I mean, there's so much more to it than resolution. Guys, stop with that bullshit. All right. It makes no sense to say 1080p is trash. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, some of these guys aren't exactly being serious. They're just giving what they've been given for 4 years. And I get that. And I actually don't think 1080p is trash. I went through Arkham City at 1080p. That game looks fucking phenomenal. Right?
Well, I mean, you're a tech dude. You know all this stuff that goes along with it, ambient occlusion and all that stuff, texture filtering. You know what goes into graphics and everything. And when you have a game that has all those bells and whistles at ultra settings at 1080p running 60 frames, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous game.
Like Rise of the Tomb Raider. And guys, go load up Forza Horizon 3 right now and play it a little bit before this patch comes. And that game is only 1080p at 30 frames. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. Forza Horizon 3 looks phenomenal. Gonna look even better on the 15th as we covered last week. So just a few more days, you'll have that Horizon 3 patch. Shout out to 550 people watching this live. Hit that like button if you can. Trying to get up to over 300 before the end of the show. State of Decay 2. I was kind of a little bit worried about this game. I made a video talking about God of War not long ago saying, hey, I'm a little worried about God of War. It looks absolutely phenomenal. We'll be picking it up for the Pro. Need something to play on that thing. But they say early 2018. This is one of their tentpole games, one of their flagship franchises, and there's still no release date. And that kind of gets to me a little bit. That worries me a little bit. And if this were a Microsoft game like Halo, Gears, Forza, Fable, and they said spring, one of the biggest games that they make, and they still didn't have a release date for it, I'd be a little worried if they said it was early 2018 or spring 2018, right? So that's why I made that video about God of War. And this is kind of applicable here. State of Decay 2, I was kind of thinking, they haven't really told us when this is coming out exactly, so I wasn't too worried about it, but it did just get an M rating confirmed. And that is a very good sign. M rating finally up on the ESRB site, meaning they played through the game. They've actually seen everything in the game. They've told us what's in the game and all this good stuff. So that's phenomenal. Hey, Predator H2O just gave out a AC Unity code in the chat. And thank you so much, Super Chat, man. So if you want an AC Unity, which is actually still one of the best looking games on the Xbox, and it'll run rock fucking solid on the X for sure. Definitely get that code. Thank you so much, brother.
I'm gonna hold judgment until I see Digital Foundry come out with a video.
I'm gonna hold up until Digital Foundry rushes their analysis.
Digital Foundry actually did run the AC Unity on the X. Yeah. Unpatched.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check it out.
It hit 60 frames on 3 teraflops. So that was the unpatched version, though. So to do that, you have to get the disc, unplug your X from the internet, throw it in, and it'll run. But no one's going to do that. So you're going to be at a lock 30. Looks great, though. So any thoughts with State of Decay 2 while we're on this rating finally coming out? Luca, you should look into State of Decay 2. This can be a lot of fun.
We'll see.
I might play the YouTube app.
I
do that late at night. So
I know that State of Decay is just another one of those games that dealers going to make me buy, and I'm going to be like, man, why do you cha-ching? And I'm going to be like,
talk about this real quick. Let me talk about this real quick. Dealer and All Day are always like, Luca. Well, okay, it's more All Day lately. He's like, Luca, I really think you should get this game because of this and this and this. And I'm just like, All Day. You and Dealer were trying to get me to get that Fortnite. Y'all played it for 2 weeks, and I never saw you on it again.
Oh yeah,
So-
they talked me into it, and I fucking bought it. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
that's true. I'm not going to fraud. That's true.
like, I don't know. I
Yeah.
got,
But
y'all got
That was
me
the
for
one
that.
bad example. The other example, I told you, Arkham Asylum was on sale, the remaster. Phenomenal fucking game.
Right.
You got it and
Right.
didn't play it, you fraud.
I know, you're right. And then another one where all day was trying to get me. Like, he told me to get Destiny. He dropped off on that faster than I did. He tried to get me to get PUBG. Thank God someone got it for me because I wasn't about to spend money on that trash. Thank you to the person who got it.
Hey,
for
Luca,
me,
you
but-
have not played it with us yet. Okay, it's not trash when you're playing it with friends, especially.
I think
Well,
we're
don't
gonna
play with Deal or he'll kill you.
Yeah,
We're
I
gonna-
killed Glitcher last time, so
we're gonna change Dealer Gaming's name to Gaming Dealer because he makes me buy all these games.
There you
He's
go.
like, "What do you want today, Colt? Huh? Get out your PayPal."
Yeah.
I
Hey,
get so ticked off. I'm like, he peer pressures me into buying all these games.
I do.
And then the next day I message him, I'm like, dude, I am so hooked on all these games you bought me. I'm playing them all at once, 14 controllers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're good games, man.
You know, State of
Good
Decay
deals.
2, every time I think of State of Decay 2, I remember playing the original on the Xbox 360. I spent hours upon hours in that game. I really loved it. And this one, it's even better because we're going to be able to play with friends. And the more I think about that, the more I think this game could potentially be something special. I really do. I think this is the one game on Xbox this year that I'm really excited for.
Yeah, State of Decay 2, man. People, they just don't give it the first one a chance because performance and stuff, but
It was kind of
it's
ugly.
next level.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't look great, but
But
you
it
know,
makes
people
up
enjoy
for
ugly
it.
games all the time. I was making fun of all day because he was talking about the animations of State of Decay 2. I'm like, bro, it's not out for almost a year, and we saw it at E3. It'll be out like 10 months from now, whatever. And you know, you're playing Yakuza 0, so I don't want to hear about animations. Don't complain about that. So you know,
playing-
shout out to all day,
he's-
fraud.
Yakuza 0 with a handful of hot dogs.
Hey, we got to talk about this Digital Foundry legal action threat. My last video, I covered it pretty well. I think I covered all the bases there, but some people just watched the podcast, believe it or not. So basically, guys, a developer, what was it? Not Readout. I was thinking of it as RE-out or whatever, right? RE-D.
Oh, yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. So I said it wrong the whole video, but it's Readout. And
It was
basically this dev got their game tested by Digital Foundry. Digital Foundry basically said, hey, they're lying on the resolution. It's 1080p. It's not, they didn't say that word for word, but that's what it came down to. It's 1080p, not closer to 4K as they claimed, and blah, blah, blah. The dev reached out that same day and was pretty mad. They said it was basically fake news. They were lying, and they threatened legal action because what Digital Foundry did was pretty much destroy that game. And there is no excuse for the frame rate issues. As I said in that video, check it out, my last video, there is literally no excuse for the frame rate issues with such better hardware than what they were competing against. Made no sense. So the devs are still guilty of a lackluster port. Fonz, did you follow along with this stuff here?
Yes, I did. And looking at this, here's the one thing I don't understand about all this. So they have their equipment that they run analysis on and everything, and they check out, you know, the frame rates and stuff. And I could understand if something there was faulty or, you know, but when you're sitting in front of a screen, and I assume they have a screen at least, you know, probably only about,
It's minimum
let's say-
50.
let's say it's maybe just 2 feet away from their face. Okay. When they have a 1080p, you know, resolution there, and then they see a 4K resolution next to it, or near 4K, you should be able to see that difference
Exactly.
with the naked eye. I mean, I'm sorry. I sit 5 feet back from my 65-inch television, and I can tell a difference between 1080p and 4K.
No
So,
problem.
I don't know. I understand that, but at the same time, people make mistakes. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he was tired. Maybe he didn't have his coffee that morning.
Maybe he had a
Maybe
Stevie off.
Well, here's the thing. They do a lot of analysis on games constantly, and I don't
Yes.
know if they're just overworked. It could be a situation
you,
where
Fox.
they're just trying to do way too much. They made a mistake. I think it was an honest mistake. I really do.
Yeah.
And they're paying for that. You know, they're going to be redoing the video, or they have, I guess. I don't know if they've done it yet, but
Nope.
they said they were going to redo it because
How many games do they analyze a month? You know, maybe 10,
I don't
15?
know. Yeah, but
Let
it's
me
a
take
lot.
guess, right?
And they
And-
go in depth. They go
and-
in.
You know, John Linneman said that they kind of split into 3 teams: John, Dave, and the other guy. I can't remember, Joe, Larry,
Dave.
John, Dave, and Dave, whatever. But they kind of split up their work. They pick and choose who's going to work on what game. But they're running the analysis. They're pixel counting. They're playing through the game to get to certain points so they can get to demanding areas in the game. You know, like The Witcher. How long does it take to get to?
Well, I mean, they already
Novigrad?
had that. Those saves carry across all those platforms. So
Okay, on pre-existing games, but some they
Novigrad,
don't.
it's like 6 hours.
Yeah,
Maybe,
I mean, yeah, they probably had a save for that. But on some of these new games, you know, they try and play through and look for stuff and kind of work the hardware over to get like a best and worst case scenario. And like Fawn said, sometimes they make mistakes, but like Dealer said, they have a lot of power in the community. The PC gamers, the PS4 and the Xbox gamers look to them for validation on their choice of hardware.
Yep, they're the end all be all. And there's
what they say is law, right?
Yep.
Because they've done the math, they've done the analyzation, they've got it up on screen. What they say is law. So if a dev says we got the game native 4K, Digital Foundry says actually it's running somewhere around 1944. We tend to go with what Digital Foundry says as the authority. So if they are a little bit sloppy, if they miss some things, it really hurts everybody, and it hurts those devs the hardest because they do lose out on sales on a certain platform, or their game could lose out on all platforms if it gets
I agree with
a poor analysis.
That's where they get a big L for this, for sure. You know, I say it's a mistake, but it's still a huge L for them because they did potentially hurt sales for this company. That's why I think a lawsuit is very, very valid in this situation. But at the same time, let's be honest. Was anybody talking about Redout before this?
No. I mean, it's like an $8 game on Steam, and it just, you know. I mean, I'm a big fan of Digital Foundry. I want to put that out there. I like what they do. Some of their videos are really well done, like good productions when they're not just analyzing pixels and stuff. I'm a fan of their work. They do a good job, and they've come around with Xbox as a whole because they're impressed with really good tech. They're tech guys. So when Microsoft put out a great console, they were pretty happy with it for the most part.
I think they just need to slow down and not do so many analysis videos at once. They've been kind of sloppy lately. I've heard about them making a couple mistakes here and there. So they just, I doubt they're going to get sued, but just take it as a lesson for them to just slow down with their analysis and stop trying to pump out so much content at once.
Hey, we got to give a shout out to Redox Hawks in the super chat. Thank you so much, brother.
If anything else, this is going to make them be a better gaming channel for these analysis. I think they've got to be, you know, I think they're going to be checking everything the next time they put out an analysis on the game.
Glitcher, what do you think about this, man? I'm sure you heard about all this stuff.
I mean, they really do need to pay attention on what they do. Like, we don't know what the scenario was. We don't know, like I said, if they didn't have their coffee or whatnot. But at the end of the day, their analysis was wrong, and it hurt not just 2 companies but 3. I mean, it hurt themselves, it hurt the developer and the Xbox on itself too, because then it's like, okay, well, your console can't push this game at what it's supposed to be at. So yeah, they should really ease back on what they do sometimes so they can get their shit out there, because I agree with Colt. I really do enjoy their stuff. They are really good, and they really put out some good videos and everything. And it's like, slow it down. Make sure you're taking your time, because you guys don't want to hurt yourselves in the end too, because, you know, like a lot of people do look at them as the be all end all. So yeah, they definitely need to slow their rolls up a little bit. So because the developers getting the legal action on, because that really just shot the shit out of their game. And it makes Digital Foundry look bad. So yeah, they need to ease up a bit on that stuff. So take some, lighten up your schedule a little bit, guys.
Just slow it down a little bit, right?
Yeah, they're on point. Like when a game is enhanced, like you can expect a day or two, they've got a full production analysis ready. But you know, Dealer's the one who's pointed out more mistakes than anybody else I've heard. When go watch his video, like he said, he points out a few pretty amazing little things they missed on Fallout 4, and just a couple little mistakes here and there that would help their credibility.
I said in the video, I don't think they're doing it deliberately. I think that what they're doing a lot of times, they're looking at developer patch notes, especially in the settings, And they're just reporting that because, like I said in the video, Fallout 4, they didn't talk about textures. They didn't talk about the new debris system. They didn't talk about a lot of the stuff going on there. They told us that Assassin's Creed Origins was checkerboarded. And then in that same analogy, Luca got a phone call. And
Not bad.
And, that was a great video by them. So, yeah, they told us AC Origins was checkerboarded. Then they did an analysis on the game, and it wasn't checkerboarded. The devs said no, they hadn't ever changed the rendering solution. Then they tested Project Cars 2, tested the wrong build of it. Never retested that since, have they?
No, they didn't. Yeah, you're right.
So then they do this Redout thing. There are mistakes, and they fail to mention a lot of benefits of a lot of Xbox One X games. It's not just resolution. It's settings across the board in many cases, and you hear them neglect to mention that. They just talk about the dev patch notes, and something as clear as day, like reflective maps on the ground in Fallout 4 that weren't there before. They'll look at them and walk past it like it was already there the whole time. Yeah. It wasn't, So I think that's their job. They should.
Yeah, what they do takes a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
You can imagine what they do takes a lot of work, and they put a lot of effort in what they do, but they've amassed like a great following and that authority. So it's been long overdue where they have to be more accountable. But
yeah. And we got to finish the story real quick too, because Digital Foundry, it was a big thing. Like, who's lying? Is the developer lying? They're threatening legal action against Digital Foundry. They're saying it renders up to 1944p, which is 90% of 4K. And I'm with Fonz. I said this in my video a couple days ago. What's the deal? You can clearly see 1080p to 4K. If you're at a distance, I get it. Maybe you can't, right? Even lower resolutions look substantially better at a distance. But right up on it, doing your tests, and you've got tools, and you can't see the 4K, that's confusing to me. I'm not saying they did it intentionally, but you can see native 4K versus 1080p easy. So not sure what's going on there.
Unless they're analyzing these games on a cell phone. But I doubt they're doing that, right?
Well, they saw the resolution on the PS4 Pro, so I don't know what happened.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And they didn't tell us what happened either. So they did come out, apologize to 34 Big Things, the studio behind Redout. And basically they said they're retesting it on Monday, but they didn't upload a video yesterday or today about it. So I'm not sure what's going on. They took down the old video and they did this. So I don't know. Any other opinions in the chat, in the panel about this? This is pretty interesting stuff going on here. Digital Foundry,
should we hang him?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. And I don't recall them just blatantly lying about resolution like this before.
I have a good punishment for them. Make them all sit in a room and listen to Richard Ledbetter talk for like 6 hours straight.
Fonz, do your impression. We love Richard.
I don't have his. No, I don't have an impression.
I don't mind listening to Richard.
No, I don't do Richard. That's somebody else, man. That ain't me.
It's not crack, Fonz. It's an impression.
Don't put that on me, bro.
Don't do crack. That's not me.
Hold on. This Fonz just texted me and said, "Shut up, Colt." Okay, we're good to go.
A famous analyst says that Xbox One X is a great 8.5 generation console, 8.5 generation console. He says the PS4 Pro is a marketing gimmick. These are his words, not mine. He says the Xbox One X will eventually run content that the Xbox One today, the base one, doesn't. So he's implying that they're going to use it next generation in some form with better games, which I don't know about that, especially if they're going to Ryzen Core APU. And basically, people say, well, why get an X, right? It's 4K is a gimmick. It's definitely not. That person's clearly never seen a 4K game in action, especially 4K 60. Or they'll just say, just buy a PC. And those are two comments I heard in a video about this. And I was like, well, that's dumb. 4K is not a gimmick. It's actually very real. And secondly, just buy a PC. Most console guys don't want to game on PC. They just don't. So that's a dumb thing to say as well. So
4K is the majority of TVs at every electronics store you'll go to, right?
Yeah, cool. 4K is a gimmick and 60 frames is placebo effect. Get ready.
So I don't know, guys. PS4 Pro. You guys know I got one. Fonz, you got one. We both feel the same. It doesn't do what the X does. It just doesn't.
I think the guy's headline was like the extreme of both sides. Calling the X, half the way to next generation was maybe giving it a lot of credit, right? But to call the Pro a gimmick, that's just horrible, I think.
Top Dog just exposed himself. He says, stop listening to Digital Foundry. Top Dog used to comment all the time about resolution that Digital Foundry talked about. that the PS4 had and the Xbox didn't.
I think he does. He seriously wants us to stop. Please don't. Me and my buddy Wes Webb are like, please stop watching Digital Foundry.
Oh, hey, you just reminded me. Shout out to Wes Webb if you're out there, buddy. We need you in the chat.
Yeah, where's Wes Webb?
Yeah. I had lunch with him earlier.
We miss your numbers and your calculator skills. Let's. I want to hear some more of them calculator skills now that the tables have turned. That's great. I did run into his twin brother though, as I mentioned before, East Webb. He only talks about games.
Yeah.
So, it's a great time. So what do you guys think about this analyst? He's just putting it bluntly. I don't know, guys. It is what it is. PS4 Pro is a gimmick, according to him. It's a marketing ploy.
Well, no, it was more of a VR unit that they made for, their VR unit thing. It's just the console was needed for that extra power. That's my total belief on that situation with the Pro.
Mm-hmm.
It's there for the VR.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, with Pro, the games look great. Like Uncharted 4 already looked amazing at 1080p, and none of the first-party stuff runs at 4K, 1440p, and checkerboard 1800 or whatever is the most you'll see. And I don't know. I would like to see them get more out of that machine, but they just don't. And the X has not only that, double the pixel count, but another set of textures and lighting. Like Battlefront 2 runs at double resolution plus lighting, not lighting, plus ambient occlusion, plus shadows, plus textures. It's a complete step up in every regard.
I'm not going to lie though. For the price, it's a great console. Honestly.
Yeah, $100 less bucks. But then again, if you're a home theater guy, or if you're going to go big, that's the way I see it. If you're going to go big, spend the extra $100. The Blu-ray player by itself.
Yeah.
Is worth $100.
And that game DVR, if you care about that stuff, which is kind of rare.
Oh man, all the footage I use on my channel is game DVR footage right from the Xbox One.
Incredible. And then remember that the Pro basically, if you're running 1440p, you're about halfway up the pixels for the 4K TV, and it's making up the rest. And if they checkerboard up to 4K, you're always running at half of your TV's resolution, and then upscaling the rest basically is what the Pro's doing. But games like Horizon Zero Dawn look fantastic no matter what. A great game, a beautiful game will look great, if it's got good art design and good graphics. So,
what were you going to say, Fonz?
No, I was just going to say that I forgot. That was so 30 seconds ago.
Well, hey, we got to give a shout out to 600 people watching live. Please hit that like button. Let's try to get to over 300 before the end of the show. We appreciate it, guys. I don't know, analysts, he don't give a fuck. He's just saying what he wants to say, man. So I kind of agree with him. Pro does deliver the best version of the Sony games if you're a Sony guy. And you got the cash. Yeah, the Pro is the way to go if you want those best versions of those experiences. But the X just has so much more overhead. It's insane. So I don't know, guys. God of War, pre-orders are low, and I did talk about this as well. That is common sense. The game has no release date. Said that in the video. Of course, there are no pre-orders numbers, no good pre-order numbers for a game with no release date. Anybody else kind of want to talk about this God of War low pre-orders thing? Fonz, you getting God of War?
Yeah, yeah, of course. I don't think it's really low because honestly, before release dates are even really set in stone, pre-orders don't really kind of become a thing. Yeah, I think most people wait for those release dates before they pre-order.
Yeah, I've never pre-ordered a game that didn't have a release date.
And honestly, I think that this game is going to sell really well. So I think that the sky is not falling. So,
man, I used some footage from it in my video about this topic, and I was just looking at it, and I was like, "Fuck, this looks great!" What? And a lot of people in the chat were like, "Man,
how dare you,
God of War, I might get a PS4 for this." And I was like, "I don't blame you,
dealer. How dare you talk up a game that doesn't let you jump?"
I don't give a fuck about that.
People running with that whole you can't jump in this God of War. Who gives a fuck? You know how many games I can name right now that you can't jump in? There is thousands out there that you cannot jump in. I mean, come on.
I guess you can vault in Gears, so you can't jump in Gears. It doesn't make me enjoy Gears less.
I think people, like I said, with the whole Cody situation, people are taking the, Kratos can't jump thing and they're running with it, even though it's completely inconsequential. The entire game style is different. It's different. Mm-hmm. Like, I just want everyone to just wait. Let's just wait till the game is out and see what it does before complaining and making a big deal out of stuff that just does not matter. You really are going to make a case for Kratos can't jump, so therefore the game's going to suck because, it's like, shut up. You sound stupid.
And that's not everybody, too. I think it's important to remember that's not everybody. And, I'm not putting it past. I think motherfuckers on the Sony side get away with trolling, and this is, an Xbox troll's way of fighting back. I understand that. But at the same time, I honestly don't care. You can't jump in gears. You can't. That's the last thing I think about. I think about, do the mechanics for this game work for this game? And for God of War, this game looks great. I mean, at least from the footage we've seen. I'm not saying it's going to be amazing because I haven't played it yet. But it does.
One said white man can't jump.
It's got the damn you, Colt.
Go ahead.
It's got the potential. I can't even do this, Colt. Thanks a lot with that bullshit. Anyway, you know what? Here's the thing. You know, I think that this game has the potential to be fantastic just based on the way it looks alone. But of course, we don't know because we have to see how it plays out. But it looks great. I mean, people talking shit about it now are just either jealous or they're just talking shit to talk shit.
And two, that's on both sides as well, because I'm hearing people talk about Crackdown and State of Decay and stuff, and that game doesn't look anything like God of War, and they're sitting there playing Persona 5 or something that doesn't look like
Persona 5 is lit. Okay.
I don't give a shit. I'm not kidding. I'm just saying though that when you're making fun of a game's visuals, keep in mind the games that you play as well, because you're enjoying Yakuza or something, and you're making fun of the way State of Decay looks, and it's like, don't even talk about it, you know, because it just, don't be a hypocrite. That's my point. Punkadish Gaming, what's going on, brother? Just
Fonz, there's only one game that'll beat God of War this year, and what is it?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man looks
You're
good
forgetting our favorite game.
Crackdown 3?
Crackdown 3, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh,
that's
I thought
the only
but that's multiplat. I thought you were talking about. Okay.
No. I mean, like, I think God of War is probably, I'm getting at, it's probably going to be the biggest game this year.
Red Dead 2 going to be amazing on the X.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, Red Dead 2, man. That game, you know, I've heard some people saying that they might push that back till 2019.
I hear people saying that crack rocks are great. So I don't know. Just got to wait a little longer.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If you look at the track record of Rockstar, they've shown gameplay and stuff by now if it was coming out by summer.
I'm with you.
That is the problem. That is the problem I see here. So we're looking at maybe a fall release at this point. Unless they change their ways, but who knows?
I'm with you because
they could change their ways for sure.
By this time, for like Red Dead Redemption, we saw like that video doc where they showed John Marston walking around the different places and they explained the mechanics of the game and kind of how the story goes. And yeah, we haven't seen anything like that.
Nope. Yep. Nope. Grand Theft Auto is the same thing too, man. They always show gameplay footage and stuff at least a few months out,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I did want to talk about before we move into some of these bigger leaks. There's a developer saying that Microsoft are currently seeking to buy small and large exclusives, both timed and permanent. I had said this a little while back. The whole Phil Spencer, we're not locking content off anymore, not buying exclusives anymore. I think that's out the window. I think Phil spoke a little too soon on that. I think they pretty much said, fuck it. We are buying content. As I said before, they've got studios now working in the background. They said they're not going to announce those until the games are out or are ready to be announced. And they've been working on these games for a little while, apparently. So they've invested that $1 billion. Part of that $1 billion, apparently going into buying timed and permanent exclusives once again. So that's pretty big. You can have stuff out of nowhere that nobody saw coming. And like I said, in the background, they're whittling away on their own exclusives with their new studios. This is good news, Fonz.
Yeah, it is. It's business at the end of the day. They got to do what they can to try to generate that momentum again for the Xbox, gamers and gamers in general. We got to get excited about something, and they need to start, being more business-like. And you have to do this. I'm all for it. So,
hey, Luca, what do you think about them buying timed exclusives again, permanent exclusives again?
Do you think they'll be buying permanent exclusives for stuff that's already out, like games that already exist, franchises that already exist?
Well, I think by this he means that they are literally just paying third parties to build them games, or maybe a third party has a game, kind of like Netflix, right? They take their show to Netflix, and Netflix like, that's good, we'll buy it. They're not necessarily making them shows themselves. So Titanfall was a good example of this. Titanfall, they built that game. Microsoft bought it up and kept it on their console. What do you think about that kind of stuff?
Oh, I think it's a good idea. Like, they need to do what they can until they start building their own studios and coming out with their own IPs. And
yeah.
anything helps, in my opinion.
Glitcher, what do you think about this, brother?
I think this is awesome. They definitely need to scoop up as much shit as they can and lock some stuff down. They definitely need to open up that checkbook and get it going.
Lock it down.
Yeah, but the thing of it is that I'd rather they just do permanent exclusives than timed exclusives, because personally, I would be willing to wait like a year or whatever to buy a game if I didn't have a system. Like, I know some people who just waited for Rise of the Tomb Raider to come out on PlayStation. They didn't go and buy an Xbox because of it.
Yeah.
So I'd rather
it's got to be a
permanent
next
exclusives.
level IP or game for that to move serious consoles, you know.
Yeah.
I think Titanfall 1 sold like 10 million on Xbox One or something. I don't remember. Something massive, but I don't know how many consoles that moved.
I mean, if I could live in a perfect world, I wouldn't want these timed exclusives. I don't like third-party marketing deals. However, you know, like I said earlier, it's a business, and you know, Sony's doing it, so they've got to do the same.
And a lot of the games Sony has, you know, they're not even bought up. They're not even timed exclusives. The developer just hasn't ported it over to Xbox yet. You know,
and some of the games, but some of the games that Sony has marketing rights for, they really haven't got that much extra content. I mean, they've really lost out on a lot, because that Star Wars deal, they've lost a lot there because of the whole debacle that happened. But if you really think about it, this time around, there's not really a lot of stuff that those games got that the Xbox versions didn't, which is shocking to me.
Yeah, and a lot of people are like, well, you know, Star Wars is going to look and run better on the Pro and blah, blah, blah. It's a marketing game, and you know, that's just been proven in the past to be false as well. So you're just always going to probably have better performance on the X anyway. It's pretty much, it literally is impossible not to, unless they did it on purpose. So, I mean, no matter who has what deals, I think you're in store like Red Dead, going to be a phenomenal experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
That's Rockstar's first next-generation title. GTA 5 was a triple core 360, you know, game that they kind of ported over to the next generation, and they didn't have access to all the cores and stuff they do now. That game's going to look insane.
You just gave me a chubby.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh, by the time Red Dead comes out, it'll be what, 6 years since they put out a game?
Yeah, they used to publish a lot of games, and that's why that chart's going around, right? All these games, look at that. Well, Rockstar used to publish games, and since then they've been bought up by Take-Two. So a lot of those games that they used to publish, like Max Payne from Remedy, that stuff is being published by 2K now. So it looks like, you know, Rockstar making less games, which they are, but they're not making nearly as little as that chart makes it seem, because they're no longer publishing titles. That goes to 2K. So yeah, they need to make more shit though.
Yeah.
Table tennis. Hey, shout out to almost 600 people watching this live, guys. Hit that like button if you can. We really appreciate it. And we're going to go on to our next topic if no one else has anything to say. New Xbox One X update. This one's pretty controversial, and sure we'll get Fonz in on this. Fonz in on this one. Hey, first off, it's going to improve the guide. It's going to add some new widgets, some new accessibility. You're going to have faster access to some of the things you like. I'm actually curious as to where that fluent design went. I showed a little clip of that in a video a long time ago. They were playing Horizon 3. They hit the guide button, and a white background guide popped out. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, where is that? What was that? Because that's not happening.
You have the light mode, but it doesn't look like that when you're using the light mode.
That had customization. It had big tiles on it and everything. Like that was just different. I don't know what happened to that, but that never happened.
Xbox is just happy that this current dashboard is working, so they're probably just taking a sigh of relief.
Yeah. Other benefits.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to keep iterating. Mike Ybarra said, I'm done changing the dashboard every 5 minutes. Says we're just going to build on this one and iterate on it. I think it's a good place to start. Other benefits are game hubs that should be available more faster and from the game menus themselves. They're going to have a do not disturb mode, so you can remain online but not get a billion invites or messages every 5 seconds. That's good for people that have YouTube channels and things like that, because we like to get back to you guys as often as possible, but at the same time, we like to be able to see what the fuck we're shooting. So sometimes, you know, that do not disturb mode is going to come in handy, but I probably still won't use it because I try to get back to everybody right when they message me. This is something that they're actually working on, potentially. Now, Windows Central say take this with a grain of salt, and this is the controversial aspect of something that could be in the works for Xbox. They say they're currently or have been thinking about working on an Xbox Live career system, kind of adding depth to your progress as a gamer on the Xbox. It says it includes leveling up, and avatar leveling rewards. Basically, the better you do on Xbox, the more games you play on Xbox, they could potentially give you avatar loot crates, which is the last thing anyone wants to hear right now. And I'll let you rant in a second, Fonz. But yeah, keep in mind, this is all not confirmed. This is something that could potentially be in the works, according to Windows Central. This last section with the avatar loot crates and all that, they say take it with a grain of salt. Fonz, let me know what you think about this.
What the fuck is avatar loot crates? That's what I want to know. What is that?
I have no clue, but hopefully one of them has a robot arm in it.
Well, I mean, is this like...
What is it? Is all day here?
We got the X-Files going on.
Damn.
Believe.
I just don't understand this whole thing.
What is going on?
What is that?
I knew if we started talking about loot crates that Fonz would do all conspiracy theory on us. So
no, that was insane.
Are you gonna be paying for these things, or are these things going to be given out monthly?
Well, that's what people are going to run with, right? But we don't know.
Look, here's the thing. Anytime you mention loot crates, you will eventually be paying for these. Okay. That is essentially what these loot crates are. They're to be bought. So if they do come out with this stuff and they initially say, hey, once a month you might get an a robot arm, or who knows what you get out of these boxes, but I think you're going to eventually have get to pay for this stuff. And there's people out there. But here's the thing. Here's what doesn't make any sense. You already pay for shit anyway. Yes. For that stuff. Like, you pay for the caps, you pay for the shirts, you pay for all that stuff you put on your little fucking avatar, or whatever you want to call it.
Little animated guitar and stuff.
Yeah. Right. But here's the thing. If they put it in a loot crate, there's just a chance to get that item that you may really, really want. So then guess what? It becomes a fucking gamble.
Well, the way that I read it,
and that's not cool.
The way that I read it is that you're just going to be gaming. And if it's kind of like on the 360, right? This is exactly what it used to be like. You used to do certain things in a game, and you would unlock an avatar award. You remember that?
Right. Yeah.
Except for in this version, it would come in some kind of pack that you would open. It was like, oh, look what I won. Oh, and they didn't. I know they didn't monetize it then. I just don't see them doing it now because it's too controversial. And I think Microsoft know they need goodwill from customers more than anything. So. I don't know. Maybe you don't have as much faith in that, but it would be incredibly stupid. I think they know it would be. And keep in mind, this is not confirmed. This is something that kind of Windows Central leaked out a little bit that could have been in the works. We don't know if it's continued, how old it is.
To be honest, it just sounds stupid. It really sounds lame. It sounds lame.
I kind of like the idea of more than just a number cranking up on your gamer score, like Steam has like this really ridiculous leveling system and gems and collector cards, and I can't stand it. I never really got into it, but a little bit more depth to what illustrates what you are as a gamer, what you've done. It seems like a cool concept, but the loot crates is obviously kind of stupid.
What do you think about this, Luca?
Okay.
Honestly, I'm just kind of indifferent. I mean, it's just rumors right now, right? We still haven't gotten our new avatars yet, so.
Nope. Early 2018, by the way, for those.
Yeah, so I would just take a wait and see approach and see if this is true, what they actually do with it, because right now it's kind of up in the air.
Yeah. You're just logical. You're going to wait and see. And if they do something, it's like handing someone a gun and then they're like, you're going to shoot someone with that. You never, I might not. Just don't jump on my sack until I do, right? So I'm just going to wait a minute and see what's going on with it before, because of course I'm going to be really annoyed if Microsoft make that stupid decision to start charging for avatar loot crates. Let someone go and buy a shirt cosmetically, but don't turn it into something like that. If you're going to do loot crates, if it's even a loot crate system, hand them out for kind of achievements like you used to. That was cool.
I think if they like have it so people actually have to pay for it, then I don't know about that. Maybe it'd be better. Isn't it going to be like depending on what games you play and how many hours you put in something? I think that would be a better idea than actually having you pay for it.
Yeah, kind of like a reward. If you play one game a lot, maybe you get a little something extra.
Yeah, because I know there's like certain games, especially multiplayer games, where someone could play hours and hours of that. Their gamer score and achievements, they don't really have anything just because they are on one game, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're not a gamer.
That's true. That just shows that they don't buy many games.
Yeah.
Achievements, no matter what anyone wants to say, achievements do show how many games you do buy or able to buy, whatever, how long you've been buying these games. That's the one thing they do show, I will say. So if you like them, it's another layer of satisfaction. If you don't like them, you don't have to worry about them, right? So
yeah, you can rack up a lot of points by playing lots of games. You can rack up a lot of points by buying a few games and getting all the achievements. It gives a good indication of what kind of gamer you are and what kind of stuff you like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hey, I want to talk about because I know that there are people who play certain games just for the achievements, and they're just like little rinky-dink games, and they do it because they're addicted to that number, you know, for a gamer score going up. So
that's unfortunate, right? You end up playing achievements and not the game, right?
Yeah, I know a ton of people who are like that, which is fine. You know, do what you want. There's nothing wrong with that. But there are certain people who only do that, and they're not actually like playing these games. And then there's other people who go for achievements, and they're actually playing through more than just games that give you good gamer score.
Yeah, I only hunt gamer score in games that I really like, really like. So that's when I'll go back and be like, hey, if I beat it on hard, you know, I really like the game, I can get more out of it. But I wanted to talk about these studio leaks real quick. We got people with lives in the chat, so I want to get through this topic as well. And once more, guys, thanks for watching. Hit that like button if you can. We appreciate it so much. So we got a lot of Xbox One 2018 game leaks. This comes from, and this is why I think these leaks are accurate, this comes from software, API SDK software from developers. Now, one developer did not out himself, as he cannot, as he is under NDA, or somebody, at least the leaker is under NDA, or he'll get in trouble if he leaks this. So obviously we've got a few different things. So the insider was right about Phantom Dust and Age of Empires last year. So keep that in mind. This guy didn't just come out of nowhere. He says that they are working on I'm just boiling it down for you guys, as I always do. Fable, what is looking to be a new Fable game. He says that it's a UK studio across the pond, so it could potentially be Playground Games. We heard rumors last year that Playground Games were working on an open world game. They posted something online about wanting someone to help with a game like that as well. We also got Perfect Dark, which I said this on Xbox Nation, but unless Perfect Dark is a lot different than the current one,
yeah,
it's got to, you know, even if you're a fan of the series, you got to admit that if it's just another first-person shooter or third-person shooter, you know, it's going to lose something there. It's got to do something a little bit different, in my opinion. So
it's all better replay. It's super clunky because
especially if it looks and plays like it did on the 360. Fuck that.
Yeah, that was 10 years ago. So I'm going to hope they come away from that.
I'm talking about that art style. You know what I'm saying? I did not like that game. It just looked weird.
I don't think many people did. It was a little off, but this one is reportedly being co-developed by the Coalition. There's a potential, and this is I don't know, someone said this is shot down, but the Coalition have talked about developing other things aside from Gears. I've heard that they are making a new IP, but that could be inaccurate. Forza Motorsport 4, Forza Horizon 4. That is going to be set in Japan. Obviously, probably easily the best racing franchise of all time. Forza Motorsport and Horizon's always been great. And you're going to Japan. So let us know what you'd like to see from that in the chat. What could they do different in Horizon 4 from 3 to keep it fresh? You know,
Pagoda car finds. That'd be awesome.
I'd like cops, but some people are like, oh, the lore. Can't always have cops, I guess. But
Tom Hawk said, I doubt Dealer can beat Kratos in Forza.
Just go look at the leaderboards or top Rod.
I'm going to check some of my top 5s and 10s in the world. All right. And then you've also got, according to this.
You know what? I got confused for a second because I thought he was actually talking about the actual character Kratos, not Jay. Wow. Okay. I was really confused. I was like, what is he talking about?
No, I mean, Jay has a rig. We've gamed with Jay in a party before. Kratos is cool. He's a little troll on Twitter, but, you know, I mean, everyone has their own little personas. He plays Forza. He plays Project Cars and Gran Turismo demo, whatever it is, and he likes them. So that's great. Mech Assault. This is big because this could be both a tech showcase and something big for Microsoft. Massive customization using the latest and greatest tech, a visual showcase with massive online battles, teams. The sky's the limit for Mech Assault, and it's been almost 20 years since we've seen Mech Assault in action. That's one of the games that got me to buy an Xbox, an original one. And, man, Mech Assault. Anybody else here looking forward to Mech Assault?
Yeah. This is the one game out of this list that I have a lot of like nostalgic feeling for because I played a lot of this shit on Xbox Live on the OG Xbox. And just the fact that what you said here, that they could possibly just make this fresh again, make it look fantastic visually, and just
and most importantly, it's been gone long enough, right, to be missed.
Yeah, and I think they could add some of the mechanics from other games and stuff and make this a really, really good game.
You could have like squads of your mechs and all customized and painted up, and whatever you do, Microsoft, just take your time, because you got to do that to get the quality that is going to blow people away and get them to buy an Xbox. That's what we're looking for. Age of Empires 4 apparently is coming soon as well, which we knew. Now he does mention some kind of PUBG mode for Microsoft's biggest franchise. I don't know if technically that's Microsoft or if that's Minecraft or Halo. I think Minecraft's made more money, maybe. I don't know. Maybe one of you guys know, Colt?
Don't care. I'm sorry.
Don't care. Okay. So a lot of people think this is Halo, even though I think Minecraft might actually be Microsoft's biggest franchise. Technically, they're both billion-dollar franchises. Keep that in mind. Microsoft have 4 of them now. He also says Sea of Thieves and Crackdown Arena betas had a lot of entries in them, suggesting that they are coming soon. So they're beta testing both Sea of Thieves and Crackdown 3. And Aaron Greenberg doubled down and said that was on track. Now, here's my thing about the PUBG mode in Halo. For one, I don't think Halo needs it. Second, I don't think it will work very well in Halo, because half of the fun in PUBG, as you guys know, is running around finding some old socks and shit to put on in the houses and getting that armor up, right? Finding that stuff, getting ready for war, just to get run over or killed in a split second. But that's half of the fun for me. And with Master Chief and Halo, you're already a fucking tank. Yeah. You don't need any of that stuff. Maybe I know they could change it and adapt it, but I just don't think it's needed. I think if anything, a PUBG mode, and I've said this to a few people, and they all like, wow, that's a really good fucking idea. State of Decay 2. If anything, State of Decay 2 would be the best Microsoft IP for a PUBG mode. Massive map, as they already have in the game.
Yep.
Keep the zombies there, including the zombie bosses. Add the 100 players dropping in. Everybody falls where they fall. It's a battle royale mode, just like PUBG, but zombies are still there. And imagine you got to fight for your life. Keep these zombies off you, which could give your position away to other people. A lot of people get taken out by the zombies. This would be the coolest game to have a PUBG mode in. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. Just a little something that crossed my mind the other day.
See, that would be fucking fantastic if that mode was actually in State of Decay 2. I would love that, because then that really challenges you and you have to pay attention to what's going on and all that stuff. That'd be really fucking cool.
Imagine using your ammo on zombies and then you're like, I got to save enough for an actual encounter. That would be really super tense.
Yeah.
And it's kind of what's missing, like PUBG, when you're scrounging, looking for gear, you're trying to find something that, there's like that tension, and you're with your buddies, and it's still kind of fun. It's part of like the buildup, but it's missing like that little in between before the big fight starts to happen.
We were talking about this on Loot Chest a couple of weeks back, and I forgot who said it, but he said that this is probably a mode they would put into PUBG. They'll put zombies in this game in PUBG. And so
the frame rate can fall even further. No. So I doubt that. They're worried about getting the fucking thing to run. So you saw the Digital Foundry's analysis video where it was still having a hard time on an Intel desktop class CPU. So
I don't get that. It's one fucking map. Like it make it run.
It's 2 on PC.
Yep. It's just is what it is, guys.
It doesn't make any sense that these guys have all of this money because it's sold 30 million, and they haven't done more for this game. Okay.
If it weren't in game preview, we would have curb stomped it 1,000 times.
I think they need to hire somebody who knows what he's doing and fix it.
Me and Colt make the joke that the coalition are kind of standing there like, hey, you guys want to go on vacation? Just let us rebuild this from the ground up and make it run.
Right.
Right? I mean, come on.
Dealer, speaking of the coalition, I just read an article that said that Microsoft is categorically denying that they have any involvement with any other new IP other than the next Gears. So they're saying, no, they're not working on shit.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see exactly what's going on. With this E3 is going to be massive. So as I've said before, they got 3 slated for the first half of the year. No specific dates, except for on Sea of Thieves. They got March 22nd, I think. And then in the back half, they've always got stuff. They always have. So we'll see what's happening, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. We have run over our hour and then backed over and did a burnout on it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hit that like button if you can. We're going to start with outros, starting with Attack the Glitcher, man. Thanks for coming on. It sounded like you were busy in the background dealing with kids and stuff, but we know you had to disappear a little bit like Batman. But where can people find you, man, if they want to watch it?
Yeah, you guys can find me on YouTube at Attack the Glitcher. You can find me on Twitter at Attack Glitcher, and you can find me on Xbox at Attack Glitcher. I had a real blast with you guys tonight. Thank you for having me on.
We appreciate you coming on. You're a great guest. Colt, man, what's going on? You got any plans this upcoming week? Huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna get some gaming in, but Dealer and I are gonna put a little video together. Last time we collaborated, we had a really fun time, and people kind of liked it. So
yeah, I think it was like thousands of likes on that video we did together.
Yeah.
And it was pretty damn accurate. It was months before the X came out, pretty damn accurate. So we're gonna.
Yeah, we basically had to look at what we thought was coming based on what we know, and we were pretty spot on all those games. We covered like 8 games, but this new one is something everybody's kind of be wondering about. It'll be good.
Hey, based off what I've heard, though, I mean, even we could say something plain as day, and we still got PC fanboys doing console slave awards. And why are fanboys doing corporate slave awards, for one? And secondly, if you can watch a video and directly misquote it in every way, where we're sitting there hearing it from someone in the park, we're like, what the fuck? These fucking idiots didn't even watch the video. So, in a world where that's happening, hey, what else could happen? So basically, we're just going to have to really watch out, because we have a deep fear of being called names by these fucking idiots. But anyways, that's
I like making videos about gaming and about the games that are coming up in the tech, and then there's the guys that like making videos about
other men. And what they'll do is they'll edit some shit and leave like the back half of the video out, right? There's no particles. And then you go watch the original video, or I say, there's no particles compared to this generation. Compared to, meaning they are very, very minuscule. Wasn't meant to be taken. These fucking idiots. Anyway, why am I even giving these motherfuckers time? So, Luca, what have you been up to? Where can people find you?
You guys can find me at the Ash and Luca on Twitter. I have a link to my YouTube, so you guys can just go click on that. And once again, it's the Ash and Luca. And great show tonight. Had a lot of fun. Did a little ranting. Dragon Age 2 is the best Dragon Age. Damien. Okay, I'm out.
She's out. Fonz, thanks for joining us, bud. And where can people find you?
They can find me at the corner store begging for change out front. Actually, they can find me at Jay Fonzarelli on YouTube and Twitter, and also Loot Chest Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, all podcast directories, and YouTube as well. Check us out every Sunday. Yeah, that's it.
That is it. And of course, I got everybody here, right? Yeah, you can find me at dealer_gaming, doing game giveaways. Of course, add me there at dealer_gaming. YouTube, of course, here if you like podcasts like this or other content kind of like this. Subscribe to everyone here if you can. And of course, Xbox Live at II_dealer_II. We appreciate it, guys. Thanks so much. We're out.
Later.